everyone, I'm Ethan with Awaken Catholic, and this is Awaken the Saint. Today we celebrate the feast of Blessed Maria Bagnesi, who made the most of her life even though she spent most of it sick in bed. Maria was born in 1514 in Florence. As a child, she was often neglected by her mother, and the rest of her family was left to take care of her. She was often looked after by an older sister who was a nun, so she spent a great deal of time in a convent from a young age. Whether it was genetic or caused by the neglect she suffered, she grew up small and frail, which earned her the pet name Marietta. When she turned 17, she learned that her father had arranged a marriage for her. The shock of hearing this news caused Maria to faint, and unexpectedly, she became so ill that she couldn't walk. She had to remain in bed while her father, attentive but helplessly naive, brought in countless unhelpful doctors, quacks at best and con men at worst. Maria's condition, which seemed to be permanent, was both a blessing and a curse. It put a stop to the marriage her father had haplessly planned for her, but it also prevented her from living in a convent. Despite this, she reached out to the Third Order of St. Dominic in 1544 and was able to take the steps necessary to profess her vows and receive the religious habit. For a time, Maria seemed to be recovering and could even walk a bit, but further poor doctoring once again forced her back to her bed. During this time, she began to have visions. Her neighbors thought that she was being possessed by a demon and called the local priest to help. After meeting with her, the priest assured everyone that she wasn't possessed. He later became her spiritual advisor. It should come as no surprise that Maria was deeply spiritual. She was unceasingly concerned for the state of her soul and went to confession, or rather, had confession come to her every day. She spoke with great joy of the glorious mysteries, but could never talk about the sorrowful mysteries because she would break down and start weeping whenever she tried. While she never recovered from her affliction and was forced to remain at home, her reputation as a holy figure grew, and her room became a popular place in more than one way. Pilgrims would often visit her to ask for advice, and animals, especially cats, seemed drawn to her. One especially loyal cat sat by her bed and ran outside to find help whenever her sickness became severe. As she grew older, Maria spent more and more time lost in prayer and more distant from the world until she died in 1577. While she had a following after her death, she became even better known in the 1700s after a descendant within the family wrote a biography about her. The increase in popular devotion earned the notice of Pope Pius VII, and she was beatified in 1804. When our world changes for the worse, whether it's due to an illness, an accident, or just something unforeseen, it can be difficult to recover. We might start to focus too much on what we've lost and become despondent. But Maria shows us that a drastic change doesn't have to be the end of the world. If we take up the cross presented to us and continue to follow Jesus, we will be stronger for it. Blessed Maria Bagnesi, pray for us.